Hello everyone, and welcome to the IW Toolkit webinar. My name is Svein Rasmussen, and I am the Web System Administrator here in GRID-Arendal. Also joining me for the first part of this webinar is Jarle Mjøsund, who is also the creator of the toolkit. And for the second half, Debussy Spacta, who is a GIS developer here at GRID-Arendal. I'm going to give a short introduction of the IW toolkit before Jarle starts a live demonstration showcasing the tool. Before we start, let me just remind you that there is a Q&A button if you are watching this on Zoom. If you have any questions, please write them here, and we will try to address as many as possible after the live demonstration. Also, if you're experiencing any connection issues or have any troubles with Zoom, you can also follow this webinar on YouTube. Well then, starting by going back to the beginning. The toolkit was originally developed in 2016 when GRID-Arendal was tasked with upgrading the previous IWL.net website. The old site was running on Plone and it had some special needs. GRID-Arendal then developed a CMS for the purpose of handling the new IWL site and the need for migration. In addition to special IWL features, the CMS was added so it could be used as a general CMS to host any website. Therefore, it is now also used to host several projects under IWL. Next, let's have a quick look on what the toolkit itself is built upon. At the core, we have Microsoft.NET, a framework which is the main pillar supporting the functionality and integration of the toolkit. For those of you who are not familiar with programming, this is in a sense the spine and core of the toolkit functionality. Second is Angular, a JavaScript support framework that just in general makes the technical part much easier. Serve Foundation is the third framework, but this one is optional and is more of an outer layer that manages the styling and presentation of the content on the websites. Some of you might be more familiar with another framework named Bootstrap that can also be used with this toolkit. One thing all of these frameworks have in common is that they are open source, meaning that they are transparent and available for everyone to use, and they can run on almost any platform. Next, let's look at what the toolkit offers. Okay, what does the IWL toolkit offer, or what are the benefits of using it, especially if you have a project? There are a few benefits from choosing it. One of them being website development assistance. We can help you create the basic structure and design for the website. Is the website just a one-page brochure, or do you need multiple pages for other items such as news and maybe publications? We can help you identify and create the necessary structure. Design also falls under this point, as we can assist in applying a visual profile during this process. Another point is establishment and facilitation. The website is created and stored on one of our servers, meaning there is no additional or extra cost for creation, deployment, and storage. The toolkit also opens the possibility for assistance in development and deployment of tools such as GIS. This will, however, be covered in the second part of this seminar. Okay, after creating the foundation of the website, CMS, also known as a content management system, is available. Here, different users can be created with different privileges. You can then have editors, publishers, administrators. At the most basic level, a person needs a minimal amount of technical knowledge, and this is usually for publication of news, images, files, most of the basic stuff. There are also roles such as editor that can change the design and more the technical content of the website. And this requires a basic knowledge in HTML and CSS. Also, it's important to note that when we create and deploy the site, we are laying the foundation. However, populating, publishing, and more like further development and maintenance of the site is mostly handed over to the project after creation. However, we do assist in showing and teaching how to perform certain tasks if you need help. Okay. Just a quick reminder. Most of the information that I shared under this introduction can be found on the IW Learn website under the website toolkit selection. In addition, you can also find basic guides on how to manage and work with the tool. If you're interested in any assistance with generating your own project website, then there's a form you can fill out on this page as well. And with the introduction out of the way, let's move to the technical demonstration. And with that, I will leave it over to Jarle.
Okay, hello, my name is Jarle. I am the developer of the CMS Toolkit and have been working on that since 2016, actually. It originally started as a specific need for us to migrate and host a new IWLearn.net website. And out of that came this tool that we can also then use for other websites. So on purpose, we created the toolkit as general as possible, so it can be used by basically any website. So what I'll do today is I'll set up a site from nothing to a full site with the basic features, and discuss some of the the features that are included in the CMS. Feel free to ask questions on the way, and we will try to answer them at the end of my demonstration. I also see some familiar names in the list of participants here, so that's very nice. All right, so let me get down to business. So I've set up a site on our web server, which is called demo1.iwlearn.net. It's basically completely empty. So there's nothing there. So what I'll do now is create that site from scratch. So the first thing I need to do is basically just set up a username for that website. So I will be able to log in and access the administrative interface. Sorry, I see that I forgot to share my screen. 2 secs. All right, can you see my screen now? Everything okay? Yeah. Sorry about that. Basically, I was just entering my username and password to enter this page. So now the only thing I have to do is basically build this site, which will be where I'll be using the theme called Blue Motion. It's the default theme for new websites. So now it's sort of creating the master layouts, the CSS needed, the sections needed, slideshows, and a few dummy pages that will be included in this basic site. So now the setup is complete. And I can open that up. And this is how a new site looks out of the box, with basically no customization or anything. Here we have a page with a couple of slideshows. We have some text for home. We have some news items, and we have 3 menu items that are basically standard content types. We also support mobile view out of the box. So basically, when you shrink the screen, you have this sort of mobile menu and responsive design automatically. So what I'll do, I'll just use this website and I'll edit it a little bit, add a few things here and there, and just show you the basics. And there is also a search that is enabled out of the box here. You can search for whatever is in the site. So that's also set up already. Let me first start by changing this title here to something else. Whatever, for the sake of demonstration. Okay. Let's add a news item. So I can go to the news section, and we see here on the top, we have this black toolbar, which is only visible when I'm logged in or when the content editor is logged in. So in this case, I can say add a new article. I can fetch some nice demo text from another website just for demonstration. I can paste that in. There you go. I can save that. And when it's saved, I can also add a nice thumbnail, which is always nice to do. I get that this little window. Can you see that? Well, you can't see that actually, because it's not shared. Yeah. Anyway. I will just do this, without you saying. It's just basically I'm creating a new folder, which I will call news. I will select upload, and then upload a nice photo, and I will select that photo. That's basically it, and it will turn up in this thumbnail in 3 sizes. If I like it, I can set the page to publish and save. And this is my new news item. It's featured there in the news list, and it's also featured there on the home page like that. So this is very basic. One thing that's important to notice here is that the URL that this news item gets is basically the title. So it's a nice stripped down version of the title. But note that when I edit this slug, that's what it's called, this URL that you have here. If I edit that now, no, sorry, that was not what I meant to do. What I meant to do was, if I edit the title now, while the article is published, that slug will not change. However, if it's in draft mode and I edit the title, that slug will change. So that's a good thing to know, because in general, you don't want URLs to change whenever you change the title on a page, right? You want to do that while it's in draft mode. Anyway, I change this now, and you see the URL also changed. Okay, let's talk about what's behind. So when I go into the admin part of the website, I can have a look at the sections of this site. Currently, there are 3 sections: home, about, and news. These have several properties that you can set. But let's demo this by adding a new section to this site. Let's add a section called events, for instance. So I give it the title, I give it a path, and I want this to be the articles in this section should be listed. So basically, when you enter the events page, it should show you a list of articles. And for the rest, I use the default templates and layouts. I will come back to that later. I save this, and now I can go back to my site and refresh it, and I have an events section. Let's add a page to that. Yeah, I just copy in some text here. It doesn't really matter. I can save that, and once it's saved, I'm also able to add photo. I will upload another photo. You can see that, but I'll just do that quickly. Select that photo, and it instantly resizes to the correct sizes that are specified in this template. I save that, and I have event item. I can also attach for instance, a file to this. Let me show that. So then I can use the file submenu inside Edit Article. I can go to Upload, and I can find the file that I want to include. Give it a description or something, and then upload that. And once I save it, the file is available at the bottom here. You can have many files. So all the files you add will just be appended to that list. It's also possible to add sections that are password protected. So let's say I want to add a new section that is password protected. Let's say I want to add an intranet page. So oops, now I was adding it to, I don't want to add it as a sub, I want to add it to the root. Make sure you select the root when you add a new section. So I was going to add intranet, path intra, and I can set this to be password protected. If I had specified groups or stuff like that, I could have specified that this page would only be accessible to, for instance, this steering committee or something like that. And then only members of the steering committee would have access to that page. Anyway, in this case, I wanted to be one page, one content page that should show up by default. I now save this. And when I go back to my page, I see that there is nothing there, so I need to add something. Just type something quick here for fun. And typically on an intranet page, you want to have files. So I can add another file there. And now this is a protected page. So if I now log out of this website and I go to this intranet page, you are forced to log in. So that's a nice feature to have. You can very easily protect pages, and you could have specify which groups or individuals should have access to that page. I should probably also mention the slides. So this has been set up by default with 2 slides and a dummy text on it. So the slides are edited inside the dashboard, which is the admin interface. And there is a menu here called slides. And we have one slide collection, which is the homepage banners. Note that you can have many slide collections and you can use them for different purposes. So here are the 2 slides. I can click them and I can edit the properties here on the right side. And if I want to add a new slide, I find the slide I want to upload. And for instance, let's say I wanted to link this slide to, let me find the URL to my new event. If I wanted to promote this event here, I copy that link. And I go back and I add that as a link to for my slide. And I can type here, check out our new event. Oops. And some more text. I can set that to sort 1. So then that should be a new slide that will show up on the top. And if I go back to our page, the home page, and I reload the page, you will see that our new slide is there and it links to our featured content. Now we have 3 slides. So that was quick about this slide. I think I should also mention how to work with templates. That's the most, you know, complicated thing about this whole thing, or you know, websites in general, that you need to worry about templates and layouts and design, and also HTML. So just let me quickly explain. So if I go to a page, so this page consists of 3 parts. It has a header, which is basically this top part here, and a footer. That is included in, if I switch back here, in the master layout, in the top part of this, in this master layout, basically, in this master layout. And then you have the template, which sits inside the master layout, and most pages share the same template. But what they don't share is the content in the middle. So this part here, it's basically what is coming from the main part of the template. And that can be different. It can be different depending on what content type you have. So in this case, we are now looking at an article detail. In other cases, you are looking at an article list, but all of them are sort of, you know, populated inside the same template. But the module inside the template are different depending on the content type you're in. So this could also be a form. It could be many other things. So you have the master layout on top, and then you have the templates as a second layer. And the most important thing of the template is that it has to have this main tag, and the RKY tags that we have, which is specific for this website, is a list of you know, what can you say, tags that when you put that into your template, it will do stuff based on the arguments and parameters that you insert. I won't go too deeply into this, but because it's kind of complicated, but I'll show you a little bit about it soon. And then you have the modules, which is basically, for instance, if I look at the news list module, which is basically some HTML that wraps this into, content section that is 8 wide, and it has this for each thing that sort of iterates over the number of news items on the page, and it's laid out depending on whatever you specify here. And most of this is pure HTML that everyone knows, or not everyone, but a web developer would know. But the special thing is that we put in these tags that are coming from the CMS that are filled in, you know, dynamically. And the tags can have parameters and arguments, as I said. Yeah, so for instance, if I go to the about page here and I want to say, okay, I want to add more pages to this about, I want a right side menu, then I can go into the modules and I can say I want to add a new article detail module. And on the right side here, I want to have, let me look at the help. I want to have this, use this tag, which is a page navigation, basically. So I just copy that and I paste that in there on the right side. And I give that a name, so I call it article, sorry, about special detail, right? And I save that. And then I can go back to the about page and I can say that the about page should use another layout for its detail view. It should use the about special detail. Okay, so I save that. and I go back and I reload the about page, and you see I have the possibility now to add sub pages. So I can, for instance, add a contact us page, whatever information there. I save that, and now we have an about menu and a contact us page. Very easy. So you can add on. So that way you can have sections with subsections very easy and quickly. And you can do all this with minimal effort. Yeah. Let me see. Another thing I should mention is, yeah, let me correct this, because now I see that the ordering is wrong here. I need to go back into the about section. I need to say it should be ordered by direction ascending in order for me to get the correct default to show on top, right? So when I click about, I want to get the about page, and I click that one, I want to get contact us. Anyway, what I was going to say is about styling. So if we look at the templates, the master template has one master CSS style sheet attached, and that style sheet is maintained under styles. It's basically a standard list, list of CSS styles that are pre-packaged for this design, and that could be changed and customized to whatever you'd like. Also, the home page is the only other page that uses another custom style sheet. So we have a custom style sheet for the home page because the home page has usually special needs. The same thing you can do with scripts. This site does not have scripts, but you could have. So you could include specific JavaScript in the template that will make pages do things that you could program. Yeah, so let me show you one other thing regarding templates. One thing that will give you flexibility. So you don't have to, if you have special needs for a page in the site, you don't have to create a module template for everything. You could create a custom layout. So if I am on this about page and I click layout, I can edit this layout right here on the page, and this is the module that I'm editing. But I could change that to custom, and once I do, I could do a lot of different things. I could change whatever I like to, actually. I could say it's actually not a good. Let me do another one. Let me do the news item. Let me customize this news item instead. I set it to custom. I can change the tag to a smaller one. I can change the thumbnail to a small one. I can position the thumbnail to the right. I could take away the resource list, etc. I save that. And you will see I have another thumbnail. Let me spell that, sorry. So now it's small thumbnail, positioned to the right. I could also directly here on this page specify CSS that would only be available for this page. So if I want to change that, for instance, that title color to red, I could type that directly in here. To do this, of course, you need to know how to use CSS. But as a web developer, this is extremely flexible, and it allows you to do custom things on demand without having to change a lot of, structural templates or things around that you don't really want to change. So you can focus your change on one page. Yeah, so let me show you another thing, and that is multi-language support. We do have that. This site has not added multi-language support, but I know of one that we have. Currently, we have been working with this website called Kura River, which is a new website, which is, you know, has sprung from this exact same toolkit. And I think you are watching, Hijar, so that's good. This website has a lot of sections, also subsections. So it's growing to be a very big site. And since we have specified in the settings for this website that it should support more languages, you have a possibility to mirror the section structure in other languages. So what you do then is you specify basically the same path, but you have different titles, but other than that, things are usually the same. So when you then go to the website, I can switch to another language, and you see it will have this the language code prefix there for every URL. And once it does, the content you will get is in that language. And you can have as many languages as you'd like. So that is fully supported. Another thing I should mention is the power of RSS feeds. Let's say I want to our news page, I want to add our articles or pages that come from other places, from feeds basically. So then I noticed that this news item has the ID 2218. I need to know that when I'm adding my RSS feed. So I go to RSS feeds and I say I want to add a new feed source. Oops. I'll paste in 2 seconds. I'll paste in my URL that I want to use as a feed. This is a news feed for IW Learn News, and I call it IW Learn News. And as I said, I need to know the section ID because we need to specify which section these new types and items are going to be added to. So then I save my feed source. I could have many feed sources. And once I have done that, I can fetch news items from that feed source. And you see they are listed here, the most recent ones. And I can click them and have a look. And if I like them, I can publish them. So I publish a couple. And when I then go back to my news page, you will see that they are added here, one here and one here. They show up at the bottom because they have a date that is older than our recently added news items. So that's nice. One thing you notice here is that this blurb text is very long. So what we could do then right away is use the arguments for the tag and just cut that off. So then I go to layout and I say that I can see the blurb. If I want to check for sure, I can look up the blurb help page. There it is. And you see there is a max length argument. So what I'll do, I'll just add that in. I set it to 200 characters. And when I then save, we should see that this text is cut off to a more variable length that fits well with our design on this page. The last thing I think I want to show is forms. Typically, forms are used to add if you want to take event registrations, etc. So what I'll do then, I'll go to the forms menu inside admin. I'll add new. I'll call it event registration. add some text. I want to be notified by email, and thank you for blah blah blah. You can add some custom text that will show up for the participants that that sign up. So I save this form, and now I need to add this form that I just added, this events registration, to a page on our site. I don't have that page yet, but let me create another section. So I go to new again, and I say register. Okay, I just create a path called reg. And the important change there is that I choose a module type of type form. And then I'm able to select from the available forms that I have created, which is the event registration. And once I have done that, I can save that. Of course, I forgot to do an important thing with this form. I need to add inputs, of course. So the point with this form is that it's completely dynamic. So I can add here, for instance, I can ask for the participant's name, your full name. There should be a tight text box, and it should be the first one on the page. And I also want to add, I want to know the email address of the person signing up, okay? Your email address. And that should be of type email. That is nice because then it validates the email on input. Okay, I save that. Now I have two inputs in my form. When I now go to the page, I have the register section, and now that includes my form that I just created, fully dynamic. So if I enter my name here, and my email address, and I submit that, I have now registered for this event. And this also note that it's sort of, it expects you to type an email address. So here you can add different, if you ask for a number, for instance, you can say that it should only accept numbers, etc. You can also add uploads if you want to. For instance, the IW website has used this to upload the participant portraits and passports and all kinds of stuff. And once people register, I can go back to the form page, and I can view the data that has been entered, and you see we have one registration here so far. I think that is what I wanted to show. There's a lot more, but I don't think we should go too deep into this. Most of the websites that use the toolkit are using the most, the basic stuff, which is adding articles, adding news items, blogs, document libraries, etc. So I think I will end it there, but if there are any questions, I would like to know.
Okay, it seems like we have 2 questions at the moment. First one that might be relevant for people who are wondering about maybe using this toolkit is that if they already have a previous site, can they optimize their website through this toolkit?
No, then that would have to be migrated. Basically, you would have to set up a new website with this toolkit, and the content would have to be migrated through, copy paste, basically, which is exactly what we did with the IWLearn.net website, and also the website that I briefly showed you with multi-language support, the Kura River website, has recently been migrated.
Yeah. So the answer to the question is no, but depending on the content of the website, it could be an easy migration, or it could be a heavy one. That's just something that each page would need to be evaluated individually.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Another question is a little bit vague, but what can they do for hosting of the website?
Well, usually what happens is the IWRN team at GRID-Arendal sets up a website for them at our web server, and produces this basic version that I recently showed you. In many cases, the user can take it from there and customize the stuff. In other cases, we help them out and help them customize their layout a little bit and do some, if they have specific needs. But it could also be possible for them to host this on their own website.
Okay, just want to add to that as I mentioned earlier, there is a lot of information on the IWLearn website. If you're interested in getting set up with a new project site, there is a form that can be filled out, and when submitted, we will get back in contact with you. Let me see. I think we have another question. Let's see, I'm just gonna tell this one directly as it's typed. What if it's the project who wants to get feeds from IWLearn.net in the same manner? How do you activate the feeds from a toolkit website?
Well, isn't that exactly what I showed you? That I had a product website that wanted to get feeds from the IWLearn.net. That's basically what I did. So that should work fine if I'm not misunderstanding the question. But in general, you can pull feeds from anywhere into the website. So it doesn't really matter where the feed comes from. But maybe the question is if they are asking if the IWLearn website should consume feeds from product websites. And yes, IWLearn.net do that, but with only a handful of feeds. So if you know of active product feeds or active product websites that have feeds that are updated, we would like to know.
Okay, another question that is similar to a previous one, but maybe an attendee who joined a little bit late. Where to find the toolkit to develop the website. I can say that if you want to use the tool, then please submit the form on IWLearn under the tools section. The toolkit is not available to download like on a page, but it will be deployed to a project website that will be handed over. Okay, and with that, it looks like the questions have been answered.
Very good.
Very good.
But then I will say thank you and give it over to Debashish that will talk about GeoNode and GIS. Thank you.
Hello all, my name is Debashish Bhakta. I'm a GIS developer and working for GRID-Arendal. Today's presentation, I'm gonna, just a second, probably I have not shared my screen. Here we go. So today's presentation, I'm gonna cover 10 topics, which is all related to GeoNode. And I will start talking about what is the concept behind the spatial database management, and the rest of the 9 topics are about the software itself. So as you know, the project has to deal with lots of data, and I mean, it's the beginning of the project, during the project, and even after the project. A project may be data related to the remote sensing or sample data or environmental feature data. So what to do with this data? So the first thing is we need to store this data in electronic format so that for its long-term stability. And the philosophy behind the storing data in the GeoNode is collect once and use many times. So if you see the different categories of data, I mean, basically in the GIS world, we say vector data or raster data. And there's a third category is called a non-spatial data, which include all data related to the spatial data. So if you see the vector data, I mean, it's a point, line, and polygon. And if you say the raster data, I mean, all the scan maps or satellite imageries. And the non-spatial data, the data related to the data, I mean, for example, there's a location and it's having a coordinate, but at the same time, they have a information related to the coordinate, whether it's located, what is the address. So that's called metadata. I mean, the later in slides, we'll take you this thing in more detail. So our IWN Spatial Lab is based on the GeoNode. GeoNode is a open source platform, actually. It's open source software. So, I mean, it's not a software itself. I mean, it's a package of softwares where GeoServer and PostGIS, they're working in the ecosystem. And the top of that is Django, which is managing all this component behind the scene. So it's available on the GitHub. I mean, you can download and you can install in your own server. But then the thing is, for in our purpose, we have installed in our server, but then we have customized the software according to the purpose which we need to be required from the software. So here is our front page actually for the website. And if you go www.geonode.iwn.org, this is the official link to the IWN Spatial Lab website. So basically we use this website for our storing the information. We can create a visual map and we store all the metadata. So in this website, the first thing is we need to create an account first. So if you see on the right hand side, there's a register button. So once you click on that button, you have to fill all these entries. So you cannot skip any of them. You have to fill all these entries. And once it is you have filled, then you can log in with your credentials. And once you log in, you can see that your name is visible on the top right corner of the website. And if you go inside the profile, you can see your email ID and what you have filled previously. And even, I mean, it's recommended to fill all the information. I mean, generally when we create a website, when we create our user credential, it's always come with a minimal entries, but then you can click on the edit profile and you can fill as much as information. Let's see how to create a user. So click on the register, just getting dummy one. Let's say Deb, and I also put in password something. Your email ID. Like this, and we should capture. Let's see what's happening. Bus. And you're verified now. So here now we are logged in. So as I mentioned earlier, we have to go to the profile and you see it is coming with the minimal information right now, what we have filled previously, but it's always recommended to fill as much as information. So at least your city and your position, and maybe if you have some more about self, you can enter it here. Okay. Back to the slide. Yeah. Let's see what are the different components within this GeoNode interface. So on the top left corner, there is a called menu for data section, which is all related to how to add new layers and add new documents. We'll explain later on all these things one by one. And there is a map section where you can create maps. About section is about how many people have registered on this website, and you can see this all the users. Even you can create a group also. On the right top corner, there is a search bar. It's a general search of all the information which GeoNode hold, and this is the profile. And also, because the website has a lot of information and one need to figure out, for example, what are the layers related to the LMEs. So, I mean, this is a part of customization. When we install the GeoNode, it will always come with a minimal preview on its front end. So then it's up to you. How can you customize your interface? So here we have customized our front end interface. So it's linked with the more thematic information from our GeoNode, our website. The next exciting functionality is upload your own data. That's the more important. So if you go to the data section, and it's almost the fourth option within the data, if you click on that, it will open an interface where you can upload your own data. So GeoNode basically take a vector file and raster file both. But in a term of accepting the data format, we always recommended for vector file, you choose a shapefile. And for raster, you always choose a geotiff.tiff extension file. I mean, these two files are a most popular data format. So once you have a data, you can directly drag to this box, drag file here, or maybe you can choose from the button, actually, which is just behind the drop file box here. And even the beauty of this special content management system is, while you're uploading your data, even you can make some constraint who can download the data, and even who can able to change the metadata, who can able to edit. So I mean, there's many ways you can control your information in the website. So yes, once you, for example, if you selected some information, some data, some shapefile, and it will, once you click on upload button, it will start loading. And then as soon as it's loaded, then it will come with a message, your layer was successfully uploaded. So let's see demonstration how it's look like. Let's see, I'm just logged out. Let's see, go to the upload layer section. And then it's up to you, can drag data here, or maybe you can choose directly. So I'm choosing the option, choose file. So I already have pre-populated data on my desktop. So I'm using that one. So one thing always keep in mind, I mean, if it is shapefile, it must have at least four files in your upload box. The one is dbf file, .prg file, .shp, and shx. Select all and keep it all the option default, and just say upload. Depending upon the file size, it will take, I mean, less than a minute, or maybe less than a 10-second. Here now. So now our file is uploaded. As soon as it's uploaded, you can see the preview actually. I'm clicking on layer info. So now you see I've just uploaded a layer, is admin boundary of Norway. So now, I mean, it's uploaded with a kind of default styling. I will see later on how can we change the style of the uploaded file. Back to the slide, yeah. Even if you have some web links that's called WMS services. The WMS services are something which is a kind of a service published by a GIS softwares, and that we can use directly in our GeoNode interface. I mean, it's a two thing. We don't need to publish anything in our server itself, but we can take a direct map links from the other server. So this option is also there in the website. I mean, it is just to mention the URL and just give some name. It will automatically detect what are the files there in the WMS link. Yeah, this is the kind of additional feature in the GeoNode. So likewise, in our IW and Spatial Lab, we have added a couple of WMS services. Let's talk about metadata. As I mentioned earlier, I will take it in detail whatever is this metadata. So it's basically a data about the data and why it's important. For example, you uploaded a tons of shape files, 100 shape files, and each shape file may be related to the road, maybe to admin boundary, or maybe any environmental feature, or maybe anything. So it is mandatory to fill the metadata of all these files actually. What is the purpose of this file? What's the name? Who is created? Date of creation? I mean, it will be easy if you maintain all this information in future. If somebody want to search this data, so they will use the keyword and they can directly discover all this information. In GeoNode, in IWL and GeoNode, I mean, there's a plenty of metadata format which is accepting, and I mean, is the most one which we are using is ISO 19115, and all are in XML format actually. So if you remember, during uploading our files, we have uploaded a 4 file actually. But then if you have a metadata file for all the shape file, you can include it directly. And once it's included, it will also include it in the database, and it will fill all this metadata information of this file. So, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, these things which, for example, the purpose, abstract, and the region, category, keyword, and I mean, these are the mandatory fields. It must be filled actually while uploading an information. Let's see in the website how it's look like the metadata form. So currently we have uploaded the Norway admin boundary. So we have to go edit layer, and then we have to go edit metadata. So you can see that it's like a more than 20 or 30 fields, which is, I mean, need to fill actually, but it's not necessary to fill all the field, but it is always recommended fill as much as field as possible. And I mean, I always prefer to fill at this title and date of creation and just couple of line in the abstract, and also the region where it's a global information or it's a kind of country specific. Just select any one of them. I just select global just for demonstration. And then spatial reference, if you know from which sorry, this one, yeah, if you know what's the spatial reference type, you can also select it. And data, if you have some information about the data quality, you can also fill this information here. And then in the category especially, it's always advised to check the category actually, because it will be easy for other users to discover data from this GeoNode. So currently, for example, if you have some information and which you uploaded but you don't know the category, so I always prefer to put in the other category. And once you're done, I mean, just update. So you see how easy it is to update the metadata of any uploaded file. And as I mentioned earlier, if you have uploaded a metadata XML file along with uploaded shape file, so most of the things which will automatically pre-filled. But if it is not, then you can go to the edit layer section and you can edit the metadata. Okay. Another interesting feature is styling a layer. So I mean, it will be quite boring if you upload a shape file and it will come in with the default color, which is gray color. So I mean, it's in the world of GIS and in cartography, always people want to see the things which is more colorful and more, I mean, it's eye-catchy. So in GeoNode, we can upload, we can style the layer in two way. I mean, one is by SLD style file, and another one is we can do within the website itself. So what is SLD then? So if you're aware of QGIS software, so when you in QGIS software, I mean, it's more to GIS people, which they probably use the QGIS software. So if you have a shapefile and you can do your own cosmetic, whatever you want in the shapefile, and then there is an option there in the style option, in the property option, and then you can export it style as a .sld format. And that SLD format, you can upload it with the shapefile while you're uploading into the GeoNode. So for example, you have selected some polygon and maybe it has some good classification. And if you have a SLD of that file, you can include it during uploading. And when it is uploaded, and you'll see that the file will automatically get colored because you have included SLD file. So this is the one option. The another option is, if you don't have the SLD file, but you have uploaded your shapefile in the GeoNode, so you have to go to the edit layer section and you have to click on edit. What happened actually, whenever you upload any file in the GeoNode, is always come with this default style format. So if it has a default, that means we have to hook to that default file, and then you can start editing the style within the website. So I mean, it's very easy actually. So if you go to the edit layer file and if you click on the style section, it will open a small window and it will show you which layer you are actually giving a style. You click on the edit, and then you can give which color or what a border color with whatever it is. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, let's see. I mean, if I explain it on website, it will be more easy. So I'm going to the same layer. There's a Norway. And then edit layer. And I was saying edit style. So now you see there's a small window open here. So in the small window, so this is the default polygon style. We don't like this one. Let's add our own style. I'm just saying my style. Something my style 1.2. I just save it. I just save, and then can edit. Engineer. Let's see. Oops. Default one. This is my style. Okay, it will change probably. What I have to do. Let's see. It's created, and I have to switch the style from here. So it's the same thing, but it's deeper color. Here now. So we have changed the style, and you see, because this file has already two style format, which is you can see that on the style section on the right hand side. It's a two style, default polygon style, and the one which we have created now. So this is the default one, and this is the which we have created. I mean, it's up to the user how they want to look there. They want to see their data set, and I mean, it's a plenty of option in the style. You can change the border color. You can make the polygon transparent. So yeah, it's a lot of options are there. Okay. And then making a maps. That's another thing. I mean, we have uploaded our information, then we have fill our metadata there, and then we do all cosmetic with the layers. Now next we need to create a maps. So to create a maps, we have to go to the option under the map section on the menu, create map, and then on the right side there's an option called create map. You just click there, and then it will open an interface with preloaded map as a base map, which is OpenStreetMap, and the one which you have just clicked. So I mean, in this map we can add many other layers which already available in the GeoNode. So for example, here we have added two layers, seamount geomorphic layer and LME layers. And this maps also have a functionality. I mean, if we click on any of the particular polygon, it will give us feature. It will give an attribute feature, which is stored in the shapefile basically. And even if you click on the layer property, you can do some query map also. I mean, if you want to do name is equal to some particular name if you want. So yes, you can also do it here. So for example, we did something like name is equal to Bangula current. So I mean, now you can see the Bangula current, but the rest of the things are, I mean, invisible. So we can develop a query map also. So creating a map means we have to first save this map. And after saving, the next is we have to publish this map. And then we can share with anybody. I mean, it will generate a link which you can embed in any website, or you can share with your partners. Okay, so that's the option I was showing initially. Save maps, and then I mean, when you're saving the map, actually, it always asks for the title of this map. So all with the title is always advisable to add some add some abstract of this map. What the purpose of this map? And when it's done, then you have to click on the publish map button. As soon as you click on publish, it will open a small window, and it will give a small script. Actually, the script which I'm talking about, you can share with your staff, or this will maybe you can embed in your project website. I mean, this is kind of shareable links. And those who have some idea about the iframe, I mean, they can do more customization. I mean, they can increase the size of the map when that is embedded in the website. I mean, this iframe is all around this link actually, which is I'm highlighted in the red color actually. So this is basically the link which is pointing to the map. And I mean, if you have this link, you can directly share this link actually to anybody. And I mean, when they will go to this link actually, they will only see this interface which is preloaded with the Legion box, and the top panel having a print option, identify option, and basic all basic GIS tools are over there. And these maps are listed within the GeoNode itself. So anytime you can go to your own maps and you can edit it. So if you click on this map section, you can see on the right hand side what are the different layers which are involved in this map creation. And even you can download those layers actually directly from the GeoNode. I mean, you have a link with the GeoNode. If you click on the download layer option, you can download all the layers which are involved in this map. I mean, it's a bit boring actually. Let's see on the website how it's look like. So far what I've explained actually about the map. Let's say we have uploaded this Norway admin boundary. If I click on that, and on the right side there is a create map option. We prefer to go with our own version of style, so we can select our style here and click on create map. So it will open an interface, and just wait for a couple of seconds because it is loading. It's loading probably. It's refreshing my screen. Let's see. We'll try again. Click on that. Default one. And I say create maps. Should load. Let's see if I save it in advance. Test map. Layer. If I go to the map, explore map, test. If I can say edit map. Let's see if I have already other data sets. Say Africa, and if I say create map, okay, not sure what happened, but let me log out. Click on the layer. Let's say create maps. I don't know what happened. Maybe I can show you the maps which we have created for different purpose. Let's say if I click on that, and if I click on edit map, yeah, I mean the concept is as soon as you click on a particular map, it will load all your layers which you have selected previously on the left hand side. But then at the same time, if you want to add more information on this existing map, so you can click on add layer option, and you can see that from the geos, I mean it has a list of geoserver which you have connected behind the scene, and it will list all the layers, and you can currently it's loading now, so you can select any of the layer and you can add it. Okay, it's taking time, but there's another option. We can directly search. If I say something called let's say Africa, there's nothing called Africa. Road. Yeah, we have some layers in the geo node, so you can if once you click on this layer, and it will start adding. So yeah, so once you click on the layer, it will start adding to the your on your map section, and then you go back to layer, and you can see that your selected map is already selected, layer is already at around the left hand side, because this I have added a just a layer which is not a part of Africa, so it is probably going to open in different part. So I mean the concept is if you can upload it to your layer, you can store it and you can create a map. So let's say if I want to explain with the maps which I already created, explore map and this one. So I'm using the same map. So first thing is when you have done with your edits, you have to click on save maps. This I'm saying something like test to save. Now it will the save name, and then you have to click on publish. And because website is assuming maybe there is some more edit, but we don't have, so you have to click on save. You have to just wait for a second, and then it will pop up with the iframe, and it is this code we can use in any website, and you can embed it in any website, and this same maps will visible. So for example, if I from the embedded link, if I take this HTTP link, I just copied, just make sure it's copied, I just log out, and if you paste this link on directly on your browser, you can see that the entire map is visible and it looks like a website. And you have a here the legends option, then there's a get feature info option, so click on that and you can get information what this layer having actually, and all this basic GIS tool, zoom in, zoom out, and then the legend box if it's have. Yeah, so this actually I want to show you actually how this map is created and how it's visible when we paste the link directly to the browser. So you see how easy it is to create a map actually. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I need to show one more thing actually on the website. So if you have a map it's already created, so we have created the test one actually. So you can see that this maps having a how many layers actually. So it has a for example right now Africa base map and seamount geographic feature layer actually, geomorphic feature. So this maps having currently 2 layers, and this we can be download actually easily. So you have to click on download maps and you can just download from the information. Even you can download the data directly. So for example, the one which we have created on our server, so you can click on directly download layers and it has an option to download. It's dependent upon what format you want actually. So it's a both option, image format and data format. Data format is more useful. So you can download a shape file or maybe GeoJSON, depending upon the requirement. Okay. Now this last thing is not last thing, but a few more slides about the non-spatial data. So as I mentioned earlier, the metadata is very important and it must be filled actually. And GeoNode it support a lot of data file format in a term of metadata actually, because sometimes here I mean the metadata is not only the filling the information, but sometimes there are some external associated file which need to be added with the shapefile and with the maps. So those non-spatial data, maybe it's a document, maybe PDF, or maybe JPG, or maybe in scan map, we can also you can include in the GeoNode itself. So if you see on the top of the menu bar on the website, so there's the data, and then you have to click on upload document. So in the upload document, so once as soon as you click on upload document, it will come with the file browse option. You can select your file, give a nice title, and if you wish to include any URL to relate to this document, you can include it here. And the best thing is because this layer is this file is connected to with a particular GIS file actually. So for example, if you have uploaded a layer which is called, let's say, the layer for describing the Norway road system. So you have a already shapefile from the Norway actually, and you've also uploaded a shapefile of road of a Norway. But then if you want to add some document that's related to road safety of Norway, so if you have a file, you can directly browse that file here, and then from the link to option, you can directly search that link, shape file, and you can link it and just say upload. Let's see how it is, how can we are doing on the website. So go to the data and go to the upload documents, and I'm just saying Norway road, maybe Norway road, and selecting a file. I already have just dummy file here, road safety. Select it here. If you have some URL, you can mention here. The next thing is, because it is related to the some shape file. So let's see, because I already have a shape file uploaded on the server. So I can say road. So it will search that shape file. You can select that one and upload. So depend upon the file size, it will take less than a minute. And then again, it is advisable to fill the metadata associated with this file. You see, it's a data about the data. So we already uploaded data, and now again it's another data. So this is the metadata of an file which we have just uploaded. So fill as much as information here, but don't forget to select a category always. This is the most important thing. Otherwise it will not gonna save. I just save it here. Now it is saved. So file is there, and you can download anytime here. This option is available. But the things which I want to show you, because this file is associated with the Norway road shapefile, which is here in the second one. If I click on this file, if you go to the left side, right hand side of this website, you can see there is a document related to this layer. So now you have a layer which is talking about this layer. So now, sorry, not layer, you have a now file, the PDF file, which is talking about this shape file. So you can click it here directly. It will go to the main section where it is. You can get a more detail about the metadata, or even you can download it here. Yeah. Yeah. Back to the slide. So the next thing is how to edit the files actually. Here file means the file which we have uploaded. For example, somebody has uploaded some polygon file, maybe related to the boundary, and future there is some updation happened, and now we want to modify the file. I know there is a lot of GIS softwares which we are doing in on our desktop, downloading and then uploading file and editing and then again uploading. So that's pretty time consuming. But now this GeoNode is offer a file editing option. So once if you have a file on your GeoNode, on the right side you have an option called edit layer. If you click on the edit layer, and in edit layer, it will ask what you want to do. So basically we have to edit the data. So to click on the edit data, the next option. And then from the top menu, you see now the menu bar is a bit changed this time. It has an additional option called edit. So it is giving a two option, whether you want to create a new feature or whether you want to modify a feature. So if you want to, let's say, create a new feature, maybe you figure out maybe some island nearby an ocean and we want to just digitize, which is possible. You just click on that and just, I mean, the mouse is just like, digitizing the way we are doing in our desktop application. So as soon as you finish your digitization, it means with the double click, it will open a small pop-up window. is basically the attribute which is associated with this file, because the file which we have uploaded. So yeah, this is the one option. One is done, then you click on the save option. And the next thing is many times we don't want to create a file, but then we want to edit the file actually. This is again an option. So you see the option previously where I have shown a modified and edit. So this time you have to create on edit. As soon as you click on edit, and with the mouse you have to click on that polygon which you want to edit, and you'll see the polygon will just look like a lot of vertices, and this vertices you can move it actually easily. So yeah, just shifting of boundary layers. And then don't forget to save this file. So let's see how it's look like on website. So let's take the same file which we have uploaded. So, and then we have to go to the edit layer, and from the edit layer we have to say edit data. I hope it should be uploaded. This one, yeah, uploaded. So I don't know what happened actually. You see now it's uploaded, and here this time having option of this publish and everything. Maybe we will edit this file and we'll publish it. So let's say we'll go to the southern part of the Norway, and we'll see if we figure out some polygon which is not covered under the boundary. Oh, we have one here. No, maybe this one. Let's see. We will digitize this area. We want this thing to be included under this file. I mean this shape file. So go to the edit option, click on create, and you see the mouse how it looks like now. It has a small box, and I'm just roughly digitizing. Tick, 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 and then let's say double click, and this finish. And now you can see the small pop window open, and this is actually the attribute table which is associated with this existing file. So fill all this information or what is required actually, and after doing this just save it. Save and close, and you see our new file is created. But then what happened if you are not happy with this polygon and if you want to edit this file? Again, it's easy. You have to click on modify and click on the file, and in the file the small window will open, and with the small pencil with this in the front it is written the edit. You have to click on that, and you see our polygon is just like a vertex on this border. So you can, I mean, modify, you can shifting this polygon or whatever you want. And again, you have opportunity to edit those attribute too. So as soon as you finish your edit, you are satisfied with your edits, click save. Here we go. So our things are saved. It looks like a double file, but it's not double file. It's not refresh actually. Actually, it's not a double file. It is a single file. Here we go now. Now it looks like a single file. Yeah, it takes some time the server to be get updated actually. So what we missed actually last time, we have not published this layer actually. So this time we'll do that. So we have an option here. So I'm just quickly demonstrate actually. The one which we are getting a bit problem actually during publishing this layer. So I have this layer. It's a Norway admin boundary. And here I want to add one more layer. Let's say road. Search the layer. I have a road layer. I have added here. Beautiful. Now we have road layer, we have admin layer, there's a lot of styling is required to make this more cartographically appealing map, but just for demonstration, we have a gray background uh, of this admin boundary and the road layer with the blue color. And if you don't like the background, you can just turn off the background. And even here also we can able to change the style here actually, if you want. If you select the layer and you can click on this small brush, you can change the style of this layer actually easily. And the first thing is what you have to do is to save this layer. So give some title, let's say Norway admin. You can write some text or whatever, save it. So right now it is just saved in our server, in our website, but it is not published. The second thing, go to the same option, map, and click on publish map. So it's just thinking maybe something is edited or not. And then you click on save. And now we have a small link, which I mentioned earlier. So this I already explained what to do with this iframe actually in previous slides. So now our map is published. So all published maps are always visible under a map layer section. You can say Norway admin. So this is our published layers. You can see the full view of this map. Okay, back to the slide. So we have done a updation, edit, everything. So the last part is data compilation. This is the beauty of this GeoNode server actually. Different owner work on different layers, and they can bring together everything on a same map. So for example, one is working on the road, one is working on the settlement, and one is working on the river, or many things. So if all the layers are connected, or all the layers are having in same map, which we have created a few minutes ago, so whenever this owners they edit their own layers, it will automatically get updated. And the last part is compilation, data, and visualization. So basically, in the GRID-Arendal here I'm working, we use this GeoNode services, and we consume all the services of GeoNode, and we created a lot of other products actually using this GeoNode. Couple of atlases we use in a PS solution project, we use in plastic project, and many. Yeah. So I encourage you, please go to our website geonode.iwlearn.org in toolkit/tutorial. So if you have missed any of or maybe have something to see more detail actually how things are happening on the GeoNode website. So there's lots of videos there, and you can check those videos. Yeah, here I am almost done. Let's talk.
Okay, looks like we have a few questions. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay. On GeoNode, sharing and publishing maps do not necessarily mean that the data is exposed, right?
No, sharing, and see, if you have a data when you are uploading data on a GeoNode, so if I mentioned earlier, so when you're uploading the data on the right side, there's a panel where you can control your data, how it will be visible to the other users actually. So you can check the option whether you can visible or not. But again, when you created a map actually, and you expose that map to the in a public domain, but then it is a WMS service. It is published as a WMS service. And the fundamental of WMS service is when it is rendering on the browser, it is coming as a image file, not any core data. So even it don't have any option to download.
And the next question is, if your partner wants to show a visualization of a map in their website, can they do it without acquiring your data?
Yeah, that's possible. So the first thing is, in GeoNode, who is uploading the data, he has to give admin rights. One can see the data, one can view the data, but cannot able to download the data, or not able to edit the data. So if the user given this option, so third person can easily see the data, he can create the data and he can publish it.
Okay. And then we have, do you have any metadata about Africa in your website?
Yeah, we have a couple of files related to the Africa, but I'm not sure actually. But there are some layers which is dedicated for a particular project, but I'm not sure if we have some data specifically from entire Africa.
Okay. And there was one question earlier that is the last one. Can we download this data and put it on our website as information for our network?
Sorry, once more. Yeah.
Okay. Can we download this data
Yeah.
to put it on our website
Yeah.
as an information for our network?
You can download. If it is option, because when we are uploading the data, most of the time in our public domain. But in public domain means if you have download the data from the site and then again you upload in your site, it's no harm. But as long as you have properly acknowledged actually from this data source is coming from. And the another thing is, the best thing is, instead of downloading the data, you can use the WMS services, which is available in GeoNode actually directly. You can directly hook to the WMS services on your website. So because it will save two things. First one is no need to acknowledge directly to the dataset, and second thing is, if in future if something is changed behind the scene, the data is changed, which is, for example, if we are hosted data and we have added something, so it will automatically update it in a WMS service itself. So it's always a safe side to use a WMS service if it is available. Yeah.
Okay, and that's it for the questions.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, then this webinar is done. Thank you all for attending and have a nice evening.